What if I told you you don't get depressed because life hit you or you got knocked down? You get depressed because you don't know how to react to it. Every time that life hits you, you have two options: stay stuck or get pissed the fuck off and do something about it. Hello, humans, and welcome back to another episode of RD2H Road to Happiness, building our dream realities one life lesson at a time. So, I recently learned a life lesson that I already knew, but sometimes you have a way of falling off track, and when you do, life has a funny way of hitting you and knocking you back into reality. And what I realized recently is that when I do get hit down, I have two options. I either stay in the cycle, succumb to the feeling of hopelessness, sadness, depression, or just feeling like I'm doing everything in my control and I don't have any power, or I take my power back and I do something about it to use that anger, that loss, that rejection, that failure, and use it as fuel to get what I want. The choice is simple. Do you want to fall into it? Or do you want to fight it? You felt it before, the slip. You slowly, without realizing, start to go onto the wrong track. It doesn't happen all at once, it happens quietly. One misrep turns into a missed day at the gym, which turns into weeks not at the gym, which turns into months. One big failure turns into a spiral. One failed relationship turns into I'll never find love. It's so easy to slip into it and not even realize that you're compounding negative behaviors. You negotiate with yourself, and before you know it, you've been average for months. What I'm realizing lately is your brain and your goals are on two different wavelengths. And the second you start negotiating with yourself is the second you lose. 1% worse compounds every day, and it compounds faster than you realize. And before you know it, you're in a deficit, a mental deficit, a physical deficit. You're trying to catch up, you're trying to stabilize, and you're just trying to find a way to make it through the day. Because instead of compounding positively, you're compounding negatively. And you don't realize it until it's too late. One lazy decision doesn't define you, but it doesn't stay one lazy decision. It continues into 2, 3, 4, until you realize you're nowhere where you want to be, nowhere where you could be. So then you're fighting, you're trying to get out of the hole that you didn't even realize that you're digging, until something happens that finally wakes you up out of the sleepwalking through your days that you've been doing and forces you to see that you've been slipping. And every single time that wake up call, it hurts like a bitch. It is literally like getting cold water splashed on you in the middle of your sleep. It is painful. But once you get through it, you realize, oh wait, I needed that painful experience to make me realize that I was falling off track. And that wake-up call comes in tons of different ways. A breakup, a friendship ending, a missed opportunity, a failure that you can't ignore. It doesn't really matter what the wake-up call is, but the wake-up call has to hurt more than being comfortable feels. So no matter what it is, the breakup, the friendship, anything that happens in your life that's negative, that makes you so uncomfortable that you choose to get up and choose progress over what you've been doing, it has to be painful enough for you not to choose comfortability. Because the truth is, people, on average, don't change their life when they should. They change their life when staying in the same direction that they're currently walking is more painful than changing. So whatever's happening in your life right now, it has to be painful for you to want to walk in the other direction. This is where the decision is made between who you are and who you want to be. You start questioning everything, and the very first instinct in that is to blame anything but yourself. The mind will try to protect you. It'll tell you it's not your fault. Blame anything. The situation, the timing, the world, the guy, the people, the judges, whatever. You'll find anybody to blame other than looking in the mirror and taking accountability for yourself, because accountability is uncomfortable. And accountability requires action. So you're left with two choices in front of you: shut down, blame the world, and feel helpless, or get up and fight. And most people shut down, not because they're weak, but because it's easier. But the ones who win, it's not because they don't feel like shutting down, because they do. Every single time they get hit, they want to shut down. but it's because they know that shutting down isn't the solution to their problems. There's nothing special between the person who has everything that you want and you. The only difference is they don't stay in that shut down mindset. They feel it, they take the pain, they flip it, they use the anger as fuel, and they use it to move on to the next level they're trying to get to. They refuse to stay down after they get hit. Recently, I got hit in pretty much every area of my life, emotionally, financially, with my work. And yeah, it really did hurt. I got angry, I spiraled, I negotiated with God. I kind of felt myself slipping into a small depression. And that slip didn't last a day or two. It lasted weeks of me making excuses, me blaming other people, me laying in my bed, sleeping until 2 p.m., literally spiraling, journaling, just trying to figure out why everything felt so heavy. Until I realized that the relief I was looking for wasn't in any blame or in sulking in it. It was in the work I had been avoiding because of my emotional state. When I realized that, I made a decision. We're not fucking going out like that. So now I'm starting to completely flip my mentality, rebuild my identity, and start my structure from ground zero. Because yeah, there are shitty people out there. No doubt there are shitty people out there. People who will lie to you, betray you, and hurt you with absolutely no remorse. And it's easy. It's so easy to let that kill your momentum, to let these circumstances and external environment make you lose faith in yourself, in your effort, in your path, in everything, to make you want to go internal and shut down rather than stand up and change the course that you're currently walking. But then I switched my mindset and I said, instead of saying, why me, I'd rather say thank you. Because the last time that I got hit like this, I went to war. And it was the difference between me being the party crazy girl with a spiraling life to being an industrial broker in Los Angeles building a empire. So last time I was hit and my emotions got hurt, I went to war and I used it as fuel. And I forgot that that's an option. And this time when I got hit, I sulked in it for a second and then realized that that's the exact kind of circumstances I need to produce this kind of work and the kind of fuel and the kind of anger that I need to level up. So maybe this hit right now that I'm taking, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. It's a reminder of the version of me that got me here in the first place. Because somewhere along the way recently, in the last couple of months of living in LA, building my career and doing everything I'm trying to do, I've gotten comfortable and I didn't even realize it. And comfortability is where dreams go to die. So instead, I'm gonna sit here and take all of the shitty things that have been happening to me recently, all the shitty things people have been doing to me recently, and say thank you. Fuck you, but thank you. And I'm gonna use all of those shitty things, the anger, as fuel, because there is a certain power inside you, a certain thing that awakens in you that levels you up and pushes you to do more, to be better, to get to that next spot, that only wakes up when it's forced to wake up, when there's no other option other than to get up and fight. And so sometimes you have to be knocked the fuck down. Get that part of you to wake up and say, fuck you, watch this. Success isn't just the best revenge, it's the only one that doesn't cost you anything. Any other form of revenge, getting even, staying bitter, obsessing over what they did, it keeps you tied to them. It keeps you tied to the situation. You're still thinking about them, reacting to them, giving them your energy. And that's not revenge, that's attachment. Real revenge is redirection. It's taking that anger, that hurt, that situation, and pouring it in a positive way back into yourself. Your work, your discipline, your growth. That's how you win. Long-term thinking is how you win. You might have gotten me down today. You might have fucked up my mental space today. You might have not given me what I deserve today, but you are going to regret it. Because shitty people who act in shitty ways do not come from a position of strength. They come from a position of fear, insecurity, and weakness, and it shows. And those kind of people, they want to bring you down with them. And your revenge is the fact that you don't fucking let them. You take the pain, the frustration, the disappointment, and you turn it into progress in a way that they are never going to be capable of. They're never going to be capable of taking any of their shitty situations and actually using it to make themselves better, which is why they go out into the world and they're shitty people, because they have all of this stuff that they're unable to process. All of these things that happen to them that have made them incapable of seeing their own flaws. They put so many walls up and they go out and try to make you like them. But instead, you get sharper, more disciplined, closer to who you actually want to be. And that's revenge. Because in 2, 3, 5, 10 years, they're going to be the same shitty person that they have always been. And you're going to be something that they could never be. And them seeing that and having to deal with that and you not even giving a fuck and thinking about them, that's the revenge that actually does something. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. You don't win by just thinking in this mindset. You don't win by putting on a I don't give a fuck attitude. You don't win by just pretending that you're unbothered by everything that happens. That's not strength, that's a defense mechanism. So many of us just walk around like, I don't give a fuck, and in reality, you give lots of fucks. That's not strength. That's just using walls and projection to make yourself seem stronger than you are. There's a difference between people who act cold just to protect themselves and people who actually channel the negative things into their life to push them into positivity, to push them to be better. One is fake control, the other is real progress. And a lot of us fall into fake control. And so I'm here to teach you how to actually make real progress rather than walking around like you just don't give a fuck when everybody knows that you do. You can absolutely convince yourself, I don't give a fuck, I don't care, it doesn't bother me. And it'll probably feel real for a second until you wake up the next day and you're right back to the same habits, the same cycle, the same person that you've always been, just burying the experience and letting it dim the way that you see the world. That's not peace, that's avoidance. That's comfort dressed up as growth. You're not processing it, you're just postponing it. And postponed emotions don't just disappear. They show up again and again in the relationships you have, in the way that you approach failures, in the way that you carry yourself. So you have a choice to either do the work now or have that choice made for you later with the way that life shows up. There is no skipping steps and there's definitely not faking growth. But doing the emotional work is hard. It's abstract, it's uncomfortable, and a lot of people aren't willing to do it. Which is fine if you want the life that most people have. But the question is, how do you do the emotional work? Those emotions don't just disappear, so where do they go? They either sit in you or they move through you. And the only way that they move is through action. Action burns them, processes them, and turns them into something that's actually useful. Because fuel only works if you burn it. So use it. When you're at work, do the extra hour. Say, fuck you, watch this. When you're at the gym, do the extra rep. Say, fuck you, watch this. When you're at home, read the extra chapter. Say, fuck you, watch this. Not for them, but for you. Because it all compounds. And one day they look at you and they say, how did she get there? How did that happen? How am I still in the same place I was in when I knew her? And you're going to say, because instead of letting you keep me down, I said, fuck you, watch this. You're building momentum, you're proving something to yourself, and you're not even gonna realize how powerful it is until one day it's not weighing down on you anymore. You're not thinking about it anymore, you're not stuck in it anymore, you're just different. And it's not because of anything else than you used action to get to the next goal that you wanted. So that's it for this week. Literally, you need to be using all the pain that you're having and funneling it into progress, funneling it into anger, letting it fuel you to be a better version of yourself, because those miserable people are going to stay miserable. But your option and your choice is to take everything and use it to push you further. Use it to make you do that extra rep. Use it to make you stay that extra hour. Use it to make you go that much harder. Every single hit that you've been taking, every single shitty thing that life has been throwing your way, get angry about it. Don't just carry it, convert it into actual momentum, actual energy. Use it to push you to a level that you didn't even know you had. Because one day you won't even recognize who you were back then. And you're going to be an entirely new person because of the actions you're taking right now. And them, well, as for them, their punishment is that they're still going to be who they are today. Imagine living like that. So that's it. RD2H, Road to Happiness, building our dream realities one life lesson at a time. Love you guys. Bye.